Stranded by the roadside, 20-year-old Patricia Njeri is in no hurry to go anywhere regardless. Seemingly oblivious of the attention she's attracting for her and her baby, she remains indifferent. At 20 years, with a 2-month-old baby, all she wants is to find the man who fathered her child. A Chinese national who is allegedly among those contracted to build the Thika superhighway. Her baby, she says, is a chip of the old block.
Huyu mtoto kwa hakika anaonekana ni Mchina kabisa, ni China.
She only remembers his name, Kshu.
Waliniambia nimtafute kwa barabara lakini sijamuona.
Finding him remains her only ticket out of the struggle that raising the child alone has become, and better still, the only chance to go back to school. And it is here in unfamiliar territory that she engages the workers who have downed their tools to shift their attention to seeing if they can place the baby to the father. Except they're just as baffled as she is, with some of the contractors making no apologies for distancing themselves with the baby, clearly wanting to have no business with the unfolding drama. Patricia claims she was impregnated by the Chinese worker on an evening when he offered her a lift in his car as she was on her way home from school, a trip that did not follow the original course of events. She ended up pregnant, an eventuality that forced the then Form 3 student to drop out of Murera High School. Her mission here today is one whose efforts have borne no fruits. The search continues. Salim Bilu, Citizen Weekend.
You know, as I talk about African unity, China refuses to get out of my mind. And I hope I'm wrong. But the Chinese know that we are disunited. And they know that in our disunited state we can be manipulated. And they are in the process of manipulating us. So today, there is not a single African country in which the Chinese have not built a stadium. They think we love stadia. There is not a single African country in which they are not building some roads. The Chinese are capable of delivering 3 types of qualities of the things they do. Quality number 1, they take to the United States of America and Europe. Quality number 2, they take to their fellow Asian countries, including India. Quality number 3, which is at the very bottom, they dump in Africa, and the Africans consume them gleefully. And it's because of our disunity we are incapable of speaking with one voice. You know, many times when I look at Ghana, the Ghanaian president, whom I respect, is invited to Beijing to negotiate with Beijing, as indeed the Kenyan president would be, and the Burundi president, to negotiate with Beijing on a bilateral basis. And when they invite African leaders, they humor them, complete with guards of honor and 21 gun salutes, so that they think that they are equal. But the Ghanaian economy's GDP is possibly 1/3 of the GDP of the city of Beijing. The Burundian economy is only $2 billion United States dollars, which is the same amount that an American professional boxer earns in 1 year. The economy of Benin is smaller than Coca-Cola's advertising budget for 1 year. In other words, African economies are Mickey Mouse economies which cannot compete. And because we are disunited, we are incapable of moving as one unit. The European Union wants to have what they call bilateral negotiations with Benin. The European Union's combined economy, perhaps the largest market in the world today, is something in the neighborhood of 14 trillion United States dollars if you combine the European Union economy, and you have bilateral negotiations with Benin. That is smaller than the turnover of Standard Chartered Bank. In other words, the president of Standard Chartered Bank could very well be the one negotiating with the president of Benin, if we were to be realistic. But that is because we are disunited. And I'm submitting to us that the only antidote to that is our unity. I know, as I said yesterday, that there are already efforts to move Africa in the direction of unity at the economic front, but the suspicions in Africa are too great. The African politician is perhaps, with due respect to them, Africa's curse.
So Cornell, I want to talk to you about this last week. This young 10-year-old, very intelligent-looking young lady, a black young lady at a Pearland school who will not stand for the Pledge of Allegiance in her classroom. She doesn't want to stand up because apparently she believes that black Americans need a lot more to be done in this country. She is not willing to support the black Americans that have fought and died for this country. You know what I believe, Cornell? And I know you supported her publicly, but you know what I think? I think at 10 years old, she has no real understanding of what America is. So I wonder if her parents have sat her down and explained what Americans have given their lives, white, black, red. It doesn't make any difference. They stood and they fought and they died for this country, and she doesn't want to do anything to honor them?
Matt, she comes from a family of military service members. Her father's is a retired military service member also who served this nation well with great dignity. She also has additional family members who was in the armed forces.
Good.
Her mother's a very intelligent woman who has had long conversations as well as her father about her not standing for the flag. What white people need to understand
Just
is that,
white people?
Yes, please. Let me explain. What white people need to understand is that that national anthem was written by Francis Scott Key, a slave owner, who demonized and hated black slaves and black people. And that unwritten third, that unheard of and unspoken third verse, go research the third verse where he says, there's no refuge in this country for the hireling or the slave. Both should be turmoil to the grave.
How's her parents doing?
This is a man
Are they successful?
that promised turmoil for black people to the grave. Would you ask Jewish children to say a pledge to a German anthem that disrespects Jewish people?
If they're
No, you
living
would
in
not.
Germany,
No,
sure.
you would not.
Well, sure.
That disrespects Jewish people?
Then
No,
why,
you would not.
You certainly can kneel down. In America, you have the right to do that. But what will happen to her, how her friends will respond, how the school will view her, how Americans will view her is very negative. And this is not what you want for your 10-year-old child.
And let me say to that young girl and others like that young girl, America looked at the same way at Rosa Parks when she refused to get up and give up her seat to a white man on the bus. But history vindicated her. History vindicated her. America demonized Harriet Tubman for freeing slaves from slavery, but history vindicated her. So I say to that young girl, you stand strong, stand up, and stand for what you believe in. And to all of those who are too coward to do it, don't get in that young girl's way. Others like her, support that young girl.
What would you like her to say to the men and women who have fought for this country like I ran into over the weekend? The black men and women who fought for this country, and some who gave their lives.
And ask the black men and women who served America in its military, like in the Independence War. We helped America get it, and we were still slaves afterwards. Ask those in Vietnam who gave their war on Vietnam battlefields, but then came back and was called niggers in their own country. We have fought in America's war, and we've never been given the justice and the due process of everybody else in this nation.
Then why don't you move to a different country? Why are you staying here if you don't like it?
Let me tell you why. Because the country belongs to Indians. You white folks stole it from them, raped and robbed their people. This not your country. You all came over here and stole it and beat the hell out of them. So this not your country.
It was my country.
You all need to go home.
If you're
you all need to go back where you came from.
If you don't like it, why don't you pack up and go?
Let the Indians decide who should pack up and go, and I guarantee you black folks will stay, and you all will be on the first damn boat leaving here. So don't try that, brother. You all didn't make America. This is not your country.
What you should do is sit down with someone who has fought for this country, Cornell. Get their opinion, too.
Tons of black people have, and what have we gotten from it?
Blessed love, manners and respect, give thanks and praise for life. This video is for a just cause, and I would love the item strength and support. We have some t-shirt online, the mindset t-shirt that the item can go out there and purchase. Basically this t-shirt is in aid of the Cape Coast School for Deaf and Blind Youths in Ghana. There is no drinkable water that I can see on the school grounds, and the ones them who are blind have to travel a little distance outside of the school ground to get the water. Now we want to bring the water inside the school ground, in the bathroom where it's supposed to be. So when you purchase a t-shirt, all these proceedings go to facilitating for drinkable water in the bathroom, so they don't have to travel out. So we want your strength and support. We're going to drop the link and the video. Please follow the link, purchase a t-shirt. It's going towards a just cause. Blessed love, look for the item strength and support.